Just like angels with burning hearts, we'll face the risk of our lives. Side of night, I cheer to embrace the magic melody from the distance. Can you hear it? Like the song of an angel with a tear in her eye, with an affection for her guardian. Side of night, I cheer to embrace the magic, starting an adventure for our future. We are all hoping for setting out to lead us to the new universe, shining through the starry night. We'll always stay by your side. Nights under a soft moonlight, fly high with grace and pride. We're gonna make it right. For this dream of ours we must try. Keep this hope of ours alive. Just do it, just Burning Ranger. To the brand new sky we dive. Wings we have of shining wide. Aquamarine colored sky, fly high with grace and pride. We're gonna make it right. Dream of people we're powered by. Running at the speed of light. Just do it, just Burning Ranger.
Listen and you'll hear the heartbeat of a universe teeming with force. See all the forms and the faces of nature taking its course. And feel all the wonderful motion flowing through things far and near. Nature will share her secrets when we are ready to hear energy. These are a few of your faces, glowing in timeless places, bringing our lives new graces. Energy, there is no living without you. We must keep learning about you. Now is the time to find how to. Energy, you are profound. You make the world go round and round. You make the world go round. You make the world go round. You make the world go round.
Thank you, Energy. Hello, everybody. It's Friday evening. We did it. How ya doing? How ya doing? I took a little nap before this, so I'm going to be good to go late. Don't worry about the late start. Dr. Feel Bad and Avid Demon, thank you for the stream streak. Spoonie Moonshare, thank you for following. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. And thank you to Definitely Alive and Cheaply and Terry Malish, Shintabe, Elende. Thank you for following as well. How's it going, everyone? Stupid Judy, stupid Energy. I get that reference. You're going to hear some window noises. I'm plugging in my controller. It's not your computer. Don't worry. All right. Yeah, it was nice hanging out with Bailey today for sure. That was fun. I got a couple of fun things to show because I've acquired a few more retro games this past week. Actually, a game's done quick. Somebody was just like trying to get rid of some of their old games. Like just some ones they didn't want anymore. And it's like, well, the person's like, they're just trying to give away games. So like I grabbed like a few and then they're like, the vibe's more like take one. I'm like, thank you for telling me the vibe. I did not pick up on it because I'm an idiot. But I did get this. Look at that. GameCube games for free. Can you believe it? Tom and Jerry, War of the Whiskers. I think this is a Power Stone, like. believe it or not. But then I also went to Stone Age Gamer, and I've been looking for this one for a bit. I'm surprised it took me so long to find it, but I got Phantasy Star Online Episode 3. This is the card one, and I think it can be played offline. So also this game is surprisingly not that expensive. This was $40, which for a GameCube game is shockingly low. Thank you, Purple Tentacle, for following. Hope your plot to take over the world is going well. Hope nobody's traveling through time trying to stop you. Appreciate it. So, yeah, I've never played Episode 3. I think I was somebody at the time who was like, cards. Now I like card games. And then I had to pick this one up, because why not? Overblood. I have my own copy of Overblood. God bless Peepo. So there we go. Pretty nice condition, too. So, I now have my own copy of Overblood. Also, this came in today. This is my Sparkster action figure. This box is nice for Rocket Knight Adventure. I'm excited. I'm going to open this baby up. Oh, wow. I didn't realize it opened up like this. Oh, gosh. You get a good look at it right there. There you go. So you have different faces. I'm going to actually just not open it up then, if you can see it that easily. That's going to be a pain. There's all sorts of goodies it comes with. I love Sparkster. That's good. God, now I kind of... Am I just going to keep him in the box? It's such a nice box. I'm not normally that guy, but... Oh, he even has his little goggles. This is good. Surprised this was made. I feel like there's not that many Rocket Knight fans out there, even though it's amazing. I'm definitely one of them. Yeah, that box, it's a good box. I might just keep it in the box for a while. God, I love Rocket Knight. I've ever talked to Rocco from Mega 64 about... No, I've never talked to Rocco. I haven't really interacted with the Mega 64 guys much at all, to be honest. Never really had any opportunity. I'd like to. It's a hard game, Pete. The collection you can get now, you have Rewind and everything. That collection was like, it's good because it has the games, but it doesn't have much else, and it's surprisingly expensive. I'm going on Price trying to see how much Phantasy Star Episode 3 is, because I was a little shocked I got it for $40, but maybe that's just the price. Someday, the price of GameCube games has to go down a little bit. It's $40 about. $39 actually, according to this. I got ripped off. And then that Rocket Knight collection, which I don't even have on Switch, which I would like to have. I just have it on PC. It's $30. Okay. It's kind of a lot for what it is. $30. Got 41 reviews and it's mixed. Probably just because of the price. That's the only thing. Yeah, there's just not many features in it. But it has those games, and, they're very good games. Especially the first one. Bye, Mike. If you want to put the death counter up, you died. All right. If you have... People did seem sad. So if you know how many times I died, why not? I'll death counter it up. So I died 14 last time. Thank you, Firehair. So yeah, we're playing 9 Souls. We're going to get back to it. Yeah, there's a lot more people I like to work with. I still need to... somehow I got to get... how do I forget it? Why am I blanking on his name all of a sudden? Matt. God, what the heck is his name? It's not just Matt. Oh my god, I feel like an idiot. Matt McMuscles. I gotta get Matt McMuscles' attention somehow. I think Dan would like Matt McMuscles. He just likes old video games and wrestling. I didn't know that, Goof Troop. The sound when you shoot an item in House of Dead is the same sound as the trap sound Phantasy Star Online. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Eye Patch Wolf knows him for sure. Again, I think wrestling connection, so. Okay. You start up this video game. Let's do it. Fought our first big boss last time. So I do more. Why is that so small? Okay. I am using headphones. It's true. Are you working there, Def Counter? Yep. Do much more. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of 2 off stream. I'm pretty close to. I think I have like a few more campuses to get through. I'm working through the sports campus right now. Okay, we just got here. Yeah, we have the arrows now. We got all sorts of goodies. Did I enter this before? Oh, right, these guys. I can't activate them yet. Oh, oh boy. Take a second here. So Dan did eventually get that, what's his face guy? Sekiro. The poison breathing dude. He got the drunkard. Was he? Now I was watching him for a bit. And I'm not gonna, I wasn't seeing much parrying. Seeing a lot of running around. Which is fine, I guess. But he's gonna have to parry eventually. Ooh, dang, nice. Good enough. Butterfly will be a big rope. Butterfly's next. Did he already do the guy at the end of the other pack? Because I did Butterfly a little bit early. He's starting to acclimate. He'll get there. Butterfly will teach him. Butterfly took me a lot of attempts. Butterfly's the last boss who's really taking me. Well, there must have been someone else Sekiro, but I don't think any boss Sekiro took me more. Oh, this guy's got like a helmet. I see. Yeah, Butterfly's like 40-ish for me. It's wild. Hey, look out. Ow. I think you're right. I think either he stops at Butterfly or he plays the entire game. Absolutely. Doesn't have to. Well, if he doesn't have to, he probably should. I fought Butterfly too early. He should probably continue down the other path. I don't think I can do that. The ghost summoning thing, I bet will. It took me a while to get phase 1 figured out on Butterfly, even. Oh, great, you guys are back. Not that button, this button. Go. He's just close. That sound. Oh, I got a point. Nice. Game seem a tad loud compared to mic for people? Let me know, everybody. Who are you? Ow. For you? Let's, well, we're at 1. See if that helps. That's not enough, we know. I'll do a little bit more. Oh, right. Thank you for reminding me. Drop that rope. This place looks pretty. friend. Is that a harpoon gun? Oh, it's like the end of Avatar 2 and the end of Avatar 3. Oh, I don't condone that. Look, I know he makes some jokes about me and animals, but that's not good. Ow. Damn it. Feels good. I'm getting back into it. Took a second there. It's Mario. Yeah, it's like Mario punching Yoshi. Whoa. All right, see ya, bud. Sorry about the harpoon. That was not my idea. Steely. Some more. Oh, I need this actually pretty badly. Steely Dan, yeah. What's happening here? Is it my sister? Yep. How you doing, dear brother? Is it day or night where you are right now? What does the sky look like out there? I've never left Zia, so I always felt envious whenever you told me about all those faraway places. I didn't have many friends my age when I was a kid. The grass, the trees, the sky, and the stars were what kept me company whenever you were away. I never played Warm Snow, no. Remember when I first told you about hearing the Roots sing? Like Jimmy Fallon's band? You thought I was hallucinating from being alone all the time. People used to really like the Roots. Do they still like the Roots, or are they kind of lame now after the decades of association with Jimmy Fallon? That's a Death Star.
Kim?
Ing, why haven't you gone to sleep yet? Are you talking to the Roots again? How did you know? The weather tonight is great, so all the branches are singing. I've told you again and again, the primordial roots aren't sentient, most likely hearing random static generated by its energy. Hey, you just don't know them yet. They can be quite lively. I learned about the celestial bodies in school today. Did you know that light from the stars in the sky are actually from a long, long time ago? Yeah. A star leaves its brilliance behind as it burns itself. The light travels thousands, if not millions of light years to reach us. I heard a classmate say that the stars may shimmer brightly, but they may have already extinguished. All that's left are the last vestiges of their final moments, echoes from the past. I wonder if I'm like getting old calls from her. I wonder if she's like back on some other planet and I'm getting like late radio messages from her and that's why I'm not replying to them and she's been dead for a long time or something. I don't know. That's my guess right now. If they're telling me about this, that's what nourishes the roots. They absorb the remnant of stars, turning it into milk to feed us and supply us with energy. What my teacher doesn't know is that all souls and dreams also end up as the food for the primordial roots. They emit a song as they devour. I hear their deep melody as I fall asleep each night. They sing about all the stories across this vast expanse. That's how the roots perpetuate the memories of the universe, how they nurture new stories as others come to an end for all eternity. I wouldn't have described the energy conversion process in such a sentimental way. You have a rather active imagination. Isn't it just captivating? All their branches contain stories from the past. There's even souls from... Okay, I know. That sounds like a fine poem waiting to be written. But you should still focus on your studies, okay? Primordial roots energy can be explained through scientific principles. I'll let you be my assistant, then you can learn all about it. Do you really think there are souls inside the roots? That thought alone is a bit worrying. Not really. Forget about that. Look, a shooting star. Yeah, there's a lot of them. You didn't approve that the world ran non-sentiment upon science and rationality, so I swore to never talk to them again. But the voices never disappeared. I hid under the covers and responded in secret. Our calls and responses formed their own meandering melody, its color and aroma changing as it flowed. Even now, in these dead streets and deserted alleys, the roots still sing. Oh. So please, don't worry about me, dear brother. I'm not alone, not when I have the roots to tell me your story. I've only ever played Breath of Fire 4, and I liked it. I didn't love it. I might try Breath of Fire 3 someday. I think some people like that one more. It's not... Breath of Fire 4 is a very pretty game. The art is amazing. Punk Rock Carl, thank you for following. Appreciate it. Yeah, I hear very few people say that you should play Breath of Fire 1 or 2. Some people will say it for 2. Let's see what's happening here. Oh boy. Am I smart enough to figure this out? Yes, I am. Quite by accident, but we'll take it. I think the best of the PS1 RPGs that were more like traditional pixel based is still Suikoden 2, right? Not too many people dispute that. And you have Dragon Warrior 7. Any canon experience absorbed by the enemy that killed you can be recovered. Oh, they absorb someone they kill me? This removes the need to actually kill the enemy. I don't need that. I haven't played any of the Wild Arms. Someday I'll have to ask people what the best Wild Arms is and try to play through it. God, I'm so bad at these guys. There we go. Which of these things do I have equipped? Oops. Yeah, I never really played much of Legend of Legaia or Legend of Dragoon. I didn't play any of the Legends. You're definitely not a friend. Whoa. Shadow bullet. Oh yeah. You beat Bonanza today? Yeah, Bonanza's ending is great. It's so good. Nice. This reminds me of that one area of Dead Cells. You know what I mean? Doesn't it? Wild Arms 1's super basic. Yeah, Wild Arms was a very early PS1. I mean, it's like Wild Arms and Suikoden 1. They're good, like, you know, I'm sure, like, they're both good. I haven't played Wild Arms 1, I'm sure it's fun. But they basically are Super Nintendo RPGs. But, you know, I like Super Nintendo RPGs. Nothing necessarily wrong with that, but yeah. Don't tell Sean. Oh, look who decided to show up after all this time. She's got bird feet. And bird wings. Does your astounding intelligence lead you into this trap? This is quite eye-opening. I could sense it from afar. As stubborn as ever, I see. I've got to give it to you, though. It takes courage to storm into my territory all on your own. You only just came back from the dead, right? I figured anyone who got another shot at life would know better than to intrude on my farmlands. Don't intend to die in these barren fields.
Oh?
Barren, you say? Then let us fertilize it with some fresh organic remains. We farmers are naturally thrifty. Nothing goes to waste, not even a skinny little mouse. Rise and shine, my beast. There's work to be done. Yeah, the PS1 just had the best demos in general, huh? Like, the Final Fantasy VIII demo was absolutely legendary. I played the crap out of that. Metal Gear Solid... Well, then PS2 had the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo, which was, again, maybe the most important demo ever. The best one. Mama! Mama, it's dark, so scared. Oh, no. Did Jingshi soldiers. This technology was banned centuries ago. You've gone so far as to modify the 8 men. Oh, like zombies. What's wrong with putting everything to good use? The opportunity to serve me beyond death is a special privilege I bestow. I read the system report the moment I woke up. You apparently made a mess out of the livestock area. I was there when we captured 8 men on the pale blue planet. They're beady creatures that can be quite cute once tamed, but as pets or as livestock, in the end, they're just tools. There's a Denver's Mosquito, punk rock. I don't know that one. I've barely played Mr. Mosquito, if ever. Have you begun to think of yourself as one of those beasts now that you've mingled with them in their cage? Enough. Are you here to lecture me or kill me? Oh, right. Thanks for the reminder. I'd better send you on your way. I've got a field inspection to conduct later today. Bring him down with all your might, my beast. I'll reward you with some rice afterwards. Oh, shit. Then the Bioshock demo was amazing. I played. Gosh, I loved that. Am I gonna fight these? Hey, stop that! Stop that! Ow! Stop! No, wait. This isn't part of the plan. That's not what I meant when I said bring him down. Damn it! This is a complete disaster, you imbeciles. Thank you. Maybe they're trying to help me. Oh yeah, sure, Savvy, like the the freeware stuff like Doom, where you just got like the first episode free and then they want you to pay for the other two. So it's a smart system. There's a frog in that flower. Oh shit, I've been teleported. Am I getting a new ability? What are we gonna get now? Find the key to form a blade. Oh, is this gonna be a new thing? Oh, okay, well there. I see. Now we can take care of that other boulder from before. Oh. Oh, good. This is good. Yeah, Dragon Quest VII demo seemed pretty effective. Yes, I can. Go. Oh. Easy peasy. Excuse me. Good, good. Ah, fair enough. Actually, let's just get that health back since we're here. Why not? Pandemonium, yeah, that's the game I probably played more of in demo form than anything else. Oh, hello. You're gonna talk a lot again, aren't you? We meet again, Sir Yi. How did you get here? Are you following me? Not in the slightest. It can only be fate. Ever since my awakening, I have made this land my home. I sojourn across Kunlun without ever settling down. This is one of my many hiding spots. I did not expect to meet you here. You don't need to hide. The guards here are no match for you. A scholar does not wield the sword lightly. I simply slip away when trouble starts to brew. There's no need for violence. A poetry reciting weapon that won't fight. That's a first. Ho ho ho, you flatter me, sir. But that is the reason why I cannot obtain gin from mechanical corpses like you do. That being said, would you be interested in bartering once more? Feel free to pursue my wares. Yes, I would. We don't know what the poisons are for yet. I would like that. Oh, let's use a consumable and buy that. I think I have some. Maybe I don't. Yeah, you have to go. Okay, let's just farm it then. We're like very close. Just kill some people and come back to him. 1,000 is what I need. Ow. Don't really understand. Oh, you look big. Get that away. Oh, Jesus. Close. There we go. Yeah, I've played Hulk Ultimate Destruction. It's great. I wish I had played more of it someday. Let's do that. All right. Don't care about that one. I can maybe put that one on instead of this now. I don't know. Definitely can't afford anything here yet. We're probably gonna get this, right? Oh, something new. Okay, see, it's already there. This one sounds really good. To use 2 key charges now instead of 1, but still. Let's do it. I need to not stop forgetting about my ranged attack that I have now. Good night, Tuber. Is he not back? There he is. Nice. Ooh, Jesus, Mike. Okay, I can hack that. I'm supposed to hack that all the way down there. Yes. So we're going back, baby. I want that. Oh, I never rested before. No wonder my health was so low. Whoops. Well, we're going back anyways then. Oops. No wonder that guy wasn't there. Actually, I do have these. Actually increases damage too, so maybe we save those. Damn it. Didn't mean to do that. Somewhere around here. It's gotta be here. Yep, there it is. go, my pretty. Nice. Oh, good to know. Hit those things twice, apparently. Damn it. I hate these things. I don't even see them half the time, I swear. Oh my god. Good enough. Damn it. Oops, I didn't realize I had one. Here, this time for sure. Nope. Good enough. Yeah. It's important. Hello, fish person. Give me my map chip. Where do you think you're touching? What nerve? If you want the data, just give me 400 yen for it. There's no need to destroy me. If that's not... It's not like I want to keep talking to you, I just don't want to be shut down from... Yeah. You don't have enough yen, dummy. What are you... Oh, go collect... Oh, I don't have enough. God darn it. How much do I have? I must have close. Okay. Pretty close. We'll come back. How do I cancel the hack? I don't know. Nice. Uh-oh. Looks important. Shit. There we go. Let's go get our map. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's all right. Unknown seed. Did your enterprise turn up yet? Nah, it's gonna be a little bit still. It was like, they said 2 months when I ordered it. I don't expect it till like later in February, if that. I'm not gonna talk to her, by the way. Nice. I didn't kill her, at least, though. Oh, it's weird. Looks like there is a ledge here for some reason. There we go. Get hacked. Ooh, Prezzies. Yeah, they showed me before when this thing opened up. Weren't you back further a moment ago, friend? Am I crazy? I guess not. I guess not. Oh, I see. I can just go down here now. Like I want to. Look around over there. We can heal. May as well. Get this. I should go to the pavilion. I have that map chip. Oh, look, they're talking. Maybe they're friends now. You're just a robot assistant. How are you able to decipher this information? Shanghai 9000 doesn't ask where you stole chips. Right, we're accomplices. Then hand me the data. Alright. What are you making? Looky, this chair can lean back. I designed it. Pretty cool, huh? I thought you were going to make a spear or something. I don't need a lounging chair. Why not? This chair can help you relax. Hey kid, don't even think about calling that a finished product. You didn't even hook up the medicine cauldron to the legs. Was this a group project? When did you guys become friends? I was just trying to make this chair, but Uncle Chubby kept coming back to take... You monkey, this is my multi-tool. Didn't either of you see my name written on it? I did, that's why I took it. I never wanted to play house with an 8-man child, but the way this kid uses the tool is totally deranged. My precious tools can't stand up to blood or rust, got it? Hee. Uncle Chubby helped a lot with the joints. If it wasn't for him, the chair would have collapsed the moment someone sat on it. So does this chair have any special features? Not really. It's just well made. Don't be like that. We all need a sense of ritual in our lives. Okay, next I want to make a bookshelf, a bed that can fly, bed knobs and broomsticks, and a pot that can cook on its own. A young craftsman can solve any problem you may have. What? I never agreed. Do you guys have a thing that helps you shower with the press of a button? Ah, quit messing around. Give me back my tools. Cats, they probably hate water. Ooh, see, I'm relaxing. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. Yeah, I don't have anything for that. Yeah. I feel bad. I'm not trying to rain on your parade, but with your current gear, 100 extra lives won't even cut it. If you find any useful tools, please bring them to me. You can also make some modifications to that pipe of yours to enhance its effectiveness. For spare parts, just spend a little time looking around. Okay. That wasn't very important. This game is very cool. $4,000 for that. That was the sound once they hit an additional target. Ooh, that'd be pretty good. I have a lot of these. I wonder how much. 4,000 times 3 is 12. It's not enough to get the big thing I want, which is the next pipe upgrade, so we'll leave it be for now. Oh, I started Disco Elysium. Oh, I wasn't super feeling it, especially as a stream game. I might try it more on my own. Do I have anything for him? Yes, I do. I have a couple things for you. Can you read this score?
Huh?
Score? What's that for? That rhymed. It's a way to record music. You see, if we play these notes, we'll be able to hear a song from ancient times.
Huh?
Oh, that's what these strange words are. The village elders were the ones who taught us to sing. If we knew about this method, it would have been much easier to learn. Can't read either, huh? I was looking forward to hearing you play this piece. Maybe I'd be able to pick up something from the notes given the owner of this score. We can ask Abacus for help. Hey, pod person. My lord, this sheet music does not match with anything in the database. You ever try something like Factorio? No, I never did play Factorio. However, we do know that this is written in ancient Kunlun notation. Give me a little time and I can convert into easy-read modern notation. It'll take a bit more time to teach Shan how to read music. Yes, my lord. Alright. There's the Solarian flute that I brought from home. Abacus knows where it is. The fingering positions may be different, so you'll have to familiarize with those first. From home, but you don't play the flute. Not important, yes he does. That's all, and I need to get going now. Play something for me once you get the hang of it. Yeah. Oh, they're cute. Do I have anything for you now? Okay, here's a seed. Yeah, I'm a cat. Whoa, is that a seed you're holding? Is it for me? That was my original plan, but now that I brought it back, I'm not so sure. Why? I'll keep it alive this time, I promise. Really? The vegetables in your backyard never seem to last for long. You got me there. I don't get it. The seasons always change so frequently, and before I even realize it, my crops always dry up. I don't mind some dead crops. I just happen to remember that I picked this up from the greenhouse. Come on then, let's plant it. This is such a big place, so why not give it some greenery? I think it would look perfect in the courtyard, personally. Don't just make these decisions on your own. See, it's as big as the palm of your hand. I bet it'll grow some really big fruits. I'm not sure. This came from Guamang, so I'm sure she put plenty of effort into it. So I takes it to the extreme. Once, in order to speed up her experimental process, she bred a scorpion to grow 3 times as fast. Little monster ended up crawling out of its incubator and swallowed everyone else's subjects. That's why I don't really know what this will grow into. This time I'll make sure to water it regularly so it'll grow big and healthy. Sai, we're even listening. Fine, but if anything happens, you must get Abacus to contact me. Got it? Got it. Scorpions that are coming out of it, I'll cook them up for you next time. I bet I'm going to get a call that this thing's attacking everybody at some point. Last note. Sean is not Sean Shanson. That's similar to Sean. What's that angel? Like, what's that Halo person thing? Oops. I don't think I want to fall down yet. Ow. This isn't open yet. What's this? Oh, okay. Ow. I like that one. Hey, Storm. I watched a Pokemon Emerald run that closed out GDQ. A bit of it. I wasn't super sure if I was feeling it. I don't know. It's very untraditional. Oh, shit. That guy's a very good personality, though, who ran that. I forget his name, but he's great. What is this? Huh. This has got to be something. I wonder if this is related to that thing I found. Maybe if I give it a big hit. Yep. Such a good start. Well, the first death. Alright, we'll go there full health. This is gonna go a lot better now. Cat Hollow Knight, similar enough. Oh, you're still here. Button. Shit. I can't block that one. And got him. Nice. Avarice, Jay. Increase the gold gained from killing enemies, making each battle more profitable. Ooh, that's pretty good. Especially early on when we kind of need a lot of gold. Shit. Ooh, we got another thing, too. Now, is this really going to be worth it? Because I'm going to need 2 of these things to make this work now, right? I just don't know. Maybe getting more key charges is more important right now. Or even that. Ugh, we should be working our way through this. Increases damage inflicted by all slash attacks. I mean, come on. That seems important. Let's get this one first. Oh, thank you, JT Please. I appreciate it anyways. Now, let's see if the map... Yeah, okay, so there's that one place where there was one of these guys that I didn't find. We might want to go back to at some point. I'd try drop down now, though. Forgot about you. Ow. Ah! Damn it. Hello. Oh boy. Ow, 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 ow. Eat shit. Forget. Jesus. Good enough. Yeah, I definitely want to play the Blasphemous game soonish too here. I should play both of them, right? That's not a situation where you should just skip the first one and play the second one. They're both supposed to be good. Can I reach that? Oh, wrong thing. First one's awesome too. Gotcha. Nice. Oh, perfect. Starting to feel a bit peckish. Oh, an herb catalyst. To increase our healing effect, we should do that. Yeah, someday I want to play Front Mission 3 for sure. Honestly, the next time I'm in attack this mood, I am probably going to check out Path of Radiance. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna upgrade. Alright, you even don't use any items, just afford it. Oh no. I'm sorry, buddy. Don't come here. Just leave. Don't make me do it. He did not like that. I want to do like Tomb Raider, like the Legend, Anniversary, and that other one trilogy. What's that other one called? People don't like that last one as much, but they still, it seems like it's still okay. Underworld? No, that's part of the originals. Gosh darn it. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in eugenics. This guy didn't do anything to me. I wanted to kill him, but ran out of time. Oh my god. Blast rates are so huge on those. Oh no. My sister. Oh, my lord, something's not quite right. According to the data Mystic Nymph sent back, the maintenance records for these zones haven't been updated in a while. The extended impact of any damage is uncertain, but... Why can't I hear your voice here, Yi? Are you inside this green ball? How impudent. You mustn't speak to Lord Yi in such a manner. Stop. Don't touch that wire. The green ball just told me you're visiting a farm. Who's that bird lady? Is she your friend? No, she and I are just students of the same mentor. Friend isn't the right word for her. If you were classmates, why would you not be friends? I know. It must be because your mentor picks favorites. Not at all. So who is more talented, you or her? Hard to say, but we'll know soon enough. Are you guys going to compete? What's the punishment for losing? Death! That's enough. Lord Yi is very busy. Wasn't holding back. Apologies, my lord. Shan hangs out here and refuses to leave. However, as he is an esteemed guest, I have been conversing with him. Just make sure he stays inside. I'll keep an eye on him. If there's any developments, I'll contact you again, my lord. Guamong is exceedingly shrewd. Please exercise caution. The kid needs to watch Jaws. We're gonna fight a beakless bird lady at some point. Not quite sure. Oh no, these two. Why the hold up? Did you stop to smell the roses? I thought you of all people didn't like to waste time. Maybe. But enough about that. I knew this day would come. This may not have noticed, but when I first laid eyes on you, I knew what you would become. Ideologically bankrupt, impulsive, and self-righteous. It's only a matter of time before you turn against our noble endeavor. Was upending the truth part of this endeavor? Does that make it right to manipulate and deceive the entire world? Sure see a lot of brains in this game. You see, that is the difference between you and me. Did you know that farmers in the Tian Shan Mountains spent thousands of years domesticating and genetically modifying these delicious octoberries? The eyes? Evolutionary pressure has pushed wild octoberries to the brink of extinction, but we saved it. To put it another way, the entire species was saved through our intervention. And your point is? Don't you understand? Octoberries, ape men, even our fellow Solarians, they all need greenhouses and incubators. Sacrificing a little freedom and yielding to your superiors is the path to a perfect society. What's wrong with a little lie? The truth is, the weak fear the truth and cannot make choices for themselves. Guess. What gives you the right? Yeah, you're only dominating others for your own pleasure.
Oh.
Dominating? No, I'm protecting. Those that are capable create order. That is my duty as a soul. If only everything went according to plan. My plan. Doesn't it get tiring? Let it go already. Silence! You messed everything up. He ruined my immaculate plans. If Igong had chosen me back then, we wouldn't be in this situation. Forget. All this talk is going nowhere. You know, I'm actually grateful for your disturbance. It's not every day that one gets to swat particularly pernicious pests like you. Law of the jungle, survival of the fittest. Let's settle this in the most primitive way. With a 3-on-1 fight. Ew, those are gross. Control system activated. Beast, heed my orders. This time, exterminate him for good. Oh boy. Let's see how this goes. This is orange sting and smog coated. fighting all of them right now. Ow. Ow. Okay, that's a bad start. Alright then. They do not have much in the way of tells. Try that again. Okay. Ow. Okay. Like that. See how this works? Yeah, and that one where the thing hits an extra person would be pretty good here, huh? She comes back as soon as one of them's down. Restores life to both of them, though. Ow. Ow. That was bad. Where's she going? Oh. Come on, bird lady. Damn it. Control relinquished. Looks like it bladed up pretty good. Oh, damn. Mama? Mama? Damn it all. I had everything planned out. After Aegon found the cure, I was going to rebuild Penglai. Sowing, plowing, irrigating, fertilizing. It would take less than a millennium to reestablish a little ecosystem for our Solarian kin. Oh, they destroyed their old world. We're supposed to survive. Why did it end up like this? What do you hope to achieve? Can you even hope to achieve anything? Those are questions you should be asking yourself. What are you staring at? Kill me. No. I have been truly enlightened by your fascinating ideology. To think all that's needed is just the sacrifice of a little freedom. Time to practice what you preach. Brainwave control activated. Oh no. Oh, she's so much bigger than me. Oh. Damn you. Oof. Grim. But Mama? Ugh. Mama, what should we do next? Oh, alright. Seems a little extreme. Yeah, maybe I'm not very nice. Alright then. Have fun. Artifact? Oh. Mikey is their mama now. I mean, eventually she's gonna bleed out, right? It'll be fine. Oh, great. Now we're gonna see their tragic backstory. Let's see how mean we are. Oh, great. She gets so much bigger than me. Or Carl let you live longer than others, though she was a monster pretty early on. She got the robot bird legs and arms pretty early on, apparently. What's those two? Oh, it's those two. It's those two. Sweet. Oh, she liked them. She is a cat. Oh, she... Oh. See? See? She used to starve. Alright. Wonder what her symbol meant. Quality. The game likes its irony. Can I... She doing okay? Do you want to change our minds? She's gone now. Maybe they're happy somewhere else. Maybe she'll be fine. She's fine. It's fine, everyone. I'm not evil. We'll see. Don't need that. Whoops. Didn't see that. I know I can use the charge shot, but I don't want to. Oh, stop that. Yeah. So I kind of understand the talisman a bit better. It's better to do it after a parry because that's what they're... It's not my internal damage that it works with, it's theirs. What's that down there? I just can't get to that yet. Second, I want to kill the nest. Ow! Maybe the nest will kill me. Ow. A little sloppy, but good enough. Yeah, there's a door there, too. Damn it. Ah. Got really thrown off by that explosion there. Get back up there. It was a waste. We'll be fine. Nope, almost hit that thing again. Darn it. Oh my god. Jeez. Damn it, damn it. God. What's that? Stop that. Hey, I remembered I had that thing at the last moment. Oh. This mechanic. Prezzies. Oh, another thing for the child. It's a board game. Can't reach this. Someday we'll get a double jump. Alrighty. This is a super much. Someday we can break this glass, but it is not this day. Explore a little before going back. There's this stuff down here I really didn't do before. Oh, this is where I first found her. No, I'm just gonna fall again if I go down there. Or I've already been. Can't go up. This is down area. Yeah. Can't. There's that other door, but I don't know how to enter it. I think I might need some more abilities. I don't know. What's this down area? I don't know. I think we're fine. Yeah, I'm not. I said it on the podcast. It sure doesn't feel like Prince of Persia: Sands of Time is about the shadow drop to me. And I was correct. It just wasn't in my bones. Oh, he's out of his cage thing.
No silence.
You're finally back. The performance can't start without an audience.
Huh?
What performance? The sheet music you said to play something. You said to play something for you, so I practiced a lot. Oh yeah, of course, I remember. Yeah, it was like 15 minutes ago. You probably thought I wouldn't be able to handle it. I thought you picked it up on a whim. No way, I practiced every day. Getting used to the new Solarian fingering wasn't easy. can vouch for Sean's daily practice. He is quite talented. Daily practice. So I gave it that sheet music like 30 minutes ago. What's weird about this piece is the more you want to play well, the worse it sounds. It's almost like I need to just relax and accept it. Well, let me demonstrate. Hey, Matt. We do need a date for Silent Hill F. I'm sorry about that. We'll try to get something figured out soon. Phew, nothing out of tune. What you think, Yeet? Was it good? Yeah. Yeet, don't tell me you weren't listening. Is it really that bad? Doesn't look like you enjoyed it. No, not at all. It was great. That familiar sound and tune. It was as if she was standing right there. Ah, my sister used to play that. Oh, are we gonna do our own concert, Kevin? What did he do? He went like a... I think that's what he did, right? Okay. Anyways. There we go. Who do you mean? Abacus, keep a lid on it. Mercy, my lord. Please forgive my impulsiveness. Did you finish converting the score? Yes, I have uploaded it to your database. Let's leave it at that for now. Remember to stow the flute away when you're not using it so it doesn't get damaged by accident. Can I continue using it? I already gifted it to you. Oh, thank you, Yi. Let you guys listen to that for a moment while I go get a new drink. Be right back. Get myself a root beer. I have more presents for you, child. Got a bunch of presents. Wow, you got me a stone grilling plate. This is a board used to play Kinkun. Kinkun? Kinkun? It's an ancient strategy game. We use it to model the order of the universe. Oh. The pieces represent different celestial bodies, and as the game develops, it reveals the complex web of balance and opposition in nature. Every move affects the entire board around it. It's just like how every one of our actions can affect others. Wow, sounds complicated. It will seem difficult at first. Once you get the hang of it, you'll be hooked by its intricacies. This is a great game for developing your logical thinking. I don't really understand when you put it that way. Can we just start playing? No. You don't even know the basic layouts. Sigh, forget it. Oh, they are playing. It's like ocean. You have a really big home. No wonder you kept complaining about the size of our village. What? New Kunlun? No, I wouldn't consider this place home. It's not? Then where did you come from? Remember those bedtime stories I used to tell you? These Solarians, like those stories, all come from a planet called Penglai. And that planet was a small nation called Zia. That's where I call home. Oh, so the stories about those huge pools of water were true? They're called oceans, and I was born not too far from one. In fact, we used to joke about landlubbers like you. It's not my fault. I had nowhere to practice. So the place you grew up was even bigger than here? That's nice. The Peach Blossom Village wasn't even big enough to have a pond. Your ancestors actually came from a planet just as large as Penglai. Didn't have as much water as Penglai, but it was still covered in it. Really? Because Earth has got quite a lot of water, yeah. Really? Then why did everyone move to this tiny place? You were abducted. It's a situation in which we had to leave Penglai. As for the 8 men, that's a long story for another time. You came against your will. Can you not say? Does that have to do with why you were injured? Does that have to do with why you want revenge?
Huh?
Revenge? Who told you that? I'm just trying to pursue justice for my people and unmask those villains for all to see. Villains? What did they do? Pay attention to the game. Wow, when did all my pieces disappear? Did you really think those questions would be enough to distract me? Ooh. Hehe, I guess that backfired. Queen Kun is so hard. Is there any way I can beat you? Who knows? Not knowing makes it worth pursuing. Ooh. So true. Oh, I have one more thing for you, child. Some rations. Oh, I didn't mean to talk. How's your match with the bird lady go? Oh boy. I'm pretty sure I won. Yeah, no shit. I don't think it matters who wins or loses. I just hope you're all still on good terms. Did you make up? No. I wonder what my other friend has to think about the bird lady. Care for some dessert? Dessert? Are you talking about this hard dry biscuit? Oh, it smells nice and sweet, with a hint of tea, too. The one you're holding was the most sought-after bubble milk tea-flavored ration. Why would you turn it into bricks? Do you not like having normal food? This is an emergency ration. It's maybe portable in critical situations. Are there other flavors? Are there ones with fish in it? There are quite a few choices, but everyone has their own favorite. I prefer the savory ones because they pair well with alcohol. Oh, yeah. What are you doing? Wow, it's so tough. The old people with bad teeth in our village won't be able to eat this at all. You don't gnaw on it. You're supposed to soak it in hot water. Huh? Does it have to be hot water? I didn't boil any water. Will cold water work? It will, but it won't taste very good. You're holding the very last box of bubble milk tea rations. You have no idea how valuable it is. There's only one box left, and I'll hold on to it for now and wait for a special occasion to enjoy these rations. That's right. You got your hand on Guamong's seal. I know she's despicable, but you really didn't need to finish her off like that. Do you think what I did was wrong? Yes. I wouldn't say that, but we all used to work together. I guess I'm a little sympathetic. So do you think the people she persecuted deserved it? It is kind of talky. Like, it's good talky. Like, the stuff is good, but it's for one of these, it is pretty talky. Granted, some of that stuff I just did was optional. Alright. Surely one of these other things will open up now. Story is not a bad thing. I generally prefer my Metroidvania stories to be a bit more subtle. God damn it. I wonder if I even had to do her next. Because the class do split here quite a bit. It's very possible I could have done some other places. Yeah, the story is definitely good. Hating on talkie games. No. Shit. Come on. Hey, Starwind. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Oh. Well, that got him. Oh, this was, okay. Wow. That one. You're so over Dark Souls style stories? Yeah, I still kind of like that stuff. I like the kind of the subtlety and the not being in your face with it. Alright, someplace new. Oh, this place has one of those guys to fight. It will find them going this way. Ah. We unlocked another one of those. I can't go anywhere else. Okay. Thank you, Starwind. Appreciate it. Galactic Dock. Very sci-fi area now. Look at that parallax. See if I can do anything here. More Tau fruit. Oh, got two. How much gold do I have on my person right now, actually? Good amount. Need 4,000 from the next thing. This looks like a dead end. There's a door. Yeah. Oh, this is a door. Yeah, it's not gonna open yet. Yeah, I still don't know how to get past that. This is basically a 2D Sekiro, like, yeah. How about you? Oh, you have a shield. I can get past shields. Oh, there's another thing with the shields at the beginning of the other area. We should go back there real quick. This is probably the next area. See that? I'm liking it quite a bit, Desert. Combat is very good. Yeah, I like the hack mini games. Just enough. I like all sorts of hacking and lock picking mini games. You see, I listened to Act 3 of the promo already. It was very good. I was very excited. They finally released that. Couldn't believe it. I mean, they released Act 2 when I had just started becoming a games journalist. That's how long ago it was. Hey, Pledboard, how's it going? Okay, so where was that door thing? There's a person there? Is there always a person there? Good night, Matt. Oh, look out. Ow. Got another skill point already. Oh, this thing. Hey, I use that sheet music. Yeah, doesn't seem like anything yet. This door's not open. This is for later. Check out the Mega Man cons from Udon. I really liked the Archie ones. Oh. Yeah. Not terrible. I can't get that. Okay. It's probably the fastest way to get back over there. Maximize those dashes. It's ominous. Looks like Dr. Light wants to give me a new power-up. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. What's happening here? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not good. It's always a bad sign when it rains blood. That has not ever once been a good thing. Oh, Jesus. Ah! Ah! The hell? Jesus. Oh, we're in trouble. We are big trouble. Oof. Ow. Hey, Super Boy. Boy. Thank you for $5. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you have a good weekend. Oh, we're platforming now, baby. Ow. Good enough. Nice. Wee. Oops. Good enough. Alright. That'll make things easier next time. Big prezzies. Immortal portrait, huh? Do like the way they tell the lore. It's basically you teaching the kid about it. Oh boy. Jane, get me off this crazy thing. Oh shit. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Oh, nice. I don't think I got his gold. Unlucky. Hey. Oh, bullshit. I didn't know. I see. Okay. This is gonna be interesting. A little bright. Not now, buddy. We're gonna die. Oh, thank God. We might have enough to get another health node if we go back to the town or home with all these consumables. Why is it we at 50% off Steam? Is the DLC on sale by any chance? Because I might buy that. I already have Lies of P, but As not, it's fine. I almost certainly have enough. Right. Hell yeah. Hey, Emmy Mouse, thank you for 28 months. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. Oh, the DLC might be cheaper. I'll take a look. Hope you have a great weekend, Emmy Mouse. Thank you for 28 months. Really appreciate it. I don't think there's anything we can buy from the other cat. Maybe he can give me another arrow. Let's see. I don't have this. Oh, I don't have Dark Seal. Okay, so I could get another arrow for just 1,000. That's probably worth it. Actually, I don't even know if I have enough. Yeah, I have 700 worth. We'll do that later. Oh, I have a thing for the kid. Wow, look who's here! Yee, it's Ah Nong. I found him at the entrance. He looks like he's in a bad state. I carried him all the way here, but I don't know what to do. Is there anything you can do to help him? It's you, the white-haired demon. Shenong. Everyone has. You have white hair too. What's wrong with you? You got any poison? Oh, you want poison. Poison? Are you poisoned? No, I need something poisonous. The more toxic, the better. Quick. Are you sure this isn't just your deluded babbling? It's not. Just feed me something poisonous. I don't have anything yet. And to be clear, I can't just fast travel to these nodes. I can just go back and forth. Where was that guy? Yeah, maybe I'll see him again, buddy, and then you'll be in luck. Anyways. Hey, Noxy Potter. Want to see? It's a painting I found in an ancient temple.
Huh?
A painting? Sure, I know where we can hang it. Where are you standing? Should I be looking at this person or this tree? I'm not sure, but that person's probably the Kunlun Immortal. The Kunlun Immortal? Do you know him? It's just a myth. He said to have lived for 1,000 years, attuning to the Tao in the forest of ancient Kunlun. I've never been one to believe in these made-up folktales, though. Even if the Immortal is fake, the person who painted this is super talented. There was a time when the literati fled to Kunlun Island, away from the Fires of War. The artist might have been one of them. I think he might have actually met the Immortal. That's so awesome. It's all just simple lines of ink. Why does it look so beautiful? Paintings during the Millennium of Inquiry all looked like that. This is an original. It'll be pretty valuable. Artists don't paint to make money. Not if you were to ask an antique dealer. Valuable to who? Who's buying these things now? Hey, I want to get back to my Bob Ross painting. I miss it. Alright. Where were we? Oh, right, this thing. Ah! Jesus. Oh my god, it's not the time. Real quick. Okay, good enough. What is going on here, man? You guys are crazy. Oh, man, if I could stop these guys, I could turn this thing off, but I don't have the power yet. Maybe someday. Then we'll really explore this place. Oh, shit, I died. My bad. Wasn't really paying attention there. I was so worried about the fire. I was trying to jump off that guy, make things happen. So, has anybody watched Starfleet Academy? Is it any good? I was just, like, trying to learn a little bit about, like, why it takes place so far in the future. I did not watch the later seasons of Discovery, like, past one. I don't know how I feel about this whole, the burn situation. I don't know. I'm glad Paul Giamatti is having fun. Oh, you're fallouting. I do like the Robert Picardo's back. I do like him. I always like the Doctor. Part of me finds it a bit strange that after, like, 500 years or whatever, he's still just a chief medical officer. Oh, I can't go that way? Where am I? Oh, shit. God damn it. God damn it, really? Oh my god, how far back am I? Jeez. Like that you could do the Symphony of the Night thing, you know? For that. You do like attack before you land, you can do 2 quick ones. Could keep going this way. Let's go down here. This seems right. Plus I won't have to deal with the fire anymore for a moment. Not again. Fool me once. Whoa. Boss. I fought something like him before. Oh my god. I was robbed. That. Damn it. Oh. Really? So much healing now. Okay, good enough. know if I can... Oh, shit. Can't. Ugh, running out of healing. That's one. That really recharges my talisman, just doing that. I don't think I can go the other ways here yet. So I'm missing something. Yeah, an elevator. Kind of seems like a dead end now, honestly. Too bad, because that looks important. Oh, it's one of the map pieces. Can I pogo on these? I didn't even try. No. I'm beginning to think I shouldn't be down here. At least not yet. Going back up for now. Ugh, we don't have much health. Oh, hello. Need to buy poison from you, apparently. Sorry, it's been a while. How fare ye? Forever you didn't get so intimate after just a few encounters. As an assertion that falls short. If these inaccessible wilds, we must cherish every encounter. Besides, to tell you the truth, I am currently in a spot of trouble. Would you be willing to render assistance with your skills? It should be a walk in the park. I shall eagerly repay the debt when the opportunity arises in the future. Let's hear it. There was once a bridge that connected westward from here. However, it has now been lifted for unknown reasons. I have recently learned my brother, whom I've been trying to find for many years, resides somewhere across the bridge. It might be Corliss. Came here in a great hurry, only to sigh in dismay. Hope is that you will be able to lower the bridge or grant me the opportunity to reunite my brother. If it's on the way, I'll consider it. Of course, I should be grateful for anything. Shall linger herein. Please spend your heart's content should there be any commerce to conduct. Well, there's some commerce. I can't afford any poison. Oh boy, the wrong way. I didn't hear for a moment. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Nope, not gonna make it. Oh boy. Oh great. That's not gonna work. The timing of these platforms is really annoying with this. I can't actually get past this. Is this all a dead end now? Maybe I shouldn't be here. Can't do anything. Guess there's up there. Or down there. Gotta get back to that save point either way is what we really need to do, because I am about to die. Okay. Now where else can I go? Back and up and to the left. Let's try that. I don't think I can get any higher. Okay, I'm gonna be stuck down here and this thing's gonna go off and kill me. Good enough. I can't reach that. Boy, I don't know. What's this? Maybe there's. I have to go down there. I have not played a second of Age of Calamity or Age of Imprisonment. I've heard decent things about Imprisonment. Maybe I should check it out. I don't know. Oh, that's blocked. Okay, here we go. Here's something. Kind of. Oh. Swift Descent. I'm not. It's only one. Try it someday. Oh. How am I? Oh. Yeah, it's not much. Man, it's really a dead end. I feel like it sure feels like I'm supposed to have an air dash by now, you know? I just don't. I still don't have enough to buy one poison from this dude. I'd like to at least go back with one. Get it. Yeah, come here. There we go. Maybe if I give this guy some poison, it'll help. So I can't access that. Again, it really feels like I'm supposed to have an air dash. What are you guys talking about? Hey kid, are those bubble milk tea flavored rehydration rations? Yeah, he gave them to me and told me to add hot water to make it sweet. Make it sweet? Oh, you ignorant child. Untold numbers of Solarians needed at least 1 cup a day, relying on the sugar in these drinks to nourish their withering souls. Do you need one every day, Uncle Chubby? No, he quit a long time ago. Sigh, this travel mug is filled with a drink that only looks like bubble tea. It's been centuries since I last had some real tapioca bubbles. This is probably my greatest regret. I'm going to die anyways, why not make it a sweeter ordeal? Because you'll get stuck going up the stairway to heaven. Ooh, damn. Well, that doesn't matter now. I'll have you know that I tore through half of New Kunlun without finding a single pack of these. Now you're just going to let a monkey swallow what might be the last pack? This is a disgrace. If you like it so much, I wouldn't mind. Oh no, that won't do. I am an adult. I do not steal snacks from children. It's okay. I probably won't know how to eat it right anyway. No, you gave it to you. I really shouldn't. Okay, then I guess I'll... But if you insist, I will humbly accept your offer. Here you go. Alright, you. Oh, I did have 2 poisons. I already had poison. Didn't realize it. Give him the poison first. Feeling better now? Didn't think I'd end up owing you a favor. Why'd you save me? Aren't you in cahoots with those demons? I had no reason to stand by and watch you die. What caused you to be at death's door just now? My damn old condition again. That's what. Just my dumb luck for it to act up now. What kind of condition needs poison as treatment? I've never seen a creature survive after consuming that much toxin. Nah. Well, this condition needs poison to be kept in check. If it's fatal to most folks, it'll work like ambrosia on me. That guru once told me I was blessed with a poison-resistant body. Most would probably die if they contracted the same condition. Body immune to poison. Fascinating. Let's get one thing straight. I don't take favors or nothing. I don't know who or what you are, but the idea of owing someone really grates at me. Just this once, I'll treat you to some of my special medicinal brew. What's so special about it? From my eye on you since you showed up in the village, you looked sickly and had an unsteady gait. My brew's good for strengthening the body. Believe it or not, 1 sip and you'll feel like a new man. My illness has no cure. You're lost. If you're scared, I don't blame you. Not a chance. Just pour me a cup. We cheers. How is it? I wasn't lying, was I? It's not bad. Where'd you get the recipe? Oh, we're gonna get high. Can't tell you that. Uh-oh. Oh, no. All I can say is I'm the only person in the world that can brew this. This won't be hard to reproduce. It's just chemistry at the end of the day. Chemistry? That's some kind of sorcery? Nonsense. Science isn't sorcery. Uh-oh. Then why don't you explain it for me? Firstly, you need to know that what was it again? Ah, you won't understand. Pour me another cup. That was fun. Where do you plan to go next? I I decided. I reckon I'll stay here for now. What whim made you think you could just waltz in without my permission? There's still so much to learn about this world of demons, but it's so damn dangerous. Need somewhere safe I can return to, and I've just got a good feeling about your place. Then take Shanshan back too. Don't worry, I won't be a freeloader. In exchange, I'll continue to provide you with my medicinal brews. Make a pot of my brew with every 2 items of poison you provide. You've already thought out your terms. I still haven't agreed to anything yet, by the way. I think getting access to my special brew is a pretty good deal, though. So you're that. I got work to do. Remember to come to me if you find any poison. Ah, that's how you increase your maximum health. What is this? It doesn't taste like anything. This ore is a folk remedy from my hometown. Some people mix it in with their wine or tea. It was sold by lots of vendors who advertise it as a sleeping aid for children. How nostalgic. We used to have some at home. I eventually learned about its poisonous properties, but my parents were adamant. Mom kept telling me how expensive it was and wouldn't throw it away. Almost ruined our Shenong. Oh, sleepies. You sleep like a baby. It's a good thing I secretly threw that remedy away back then. We could relatively easily buy more poison right now, I guess. I need these things to have. Go buy some more poison, then we'll probably gotta start looking for some other roots here. I don't think I can do anything here yet. How did you hit me? Ooh, I got 2. All the poison you've got, sir. Oh god, it's so close to this. I forgot he had this. Oh, it's just a more expensive one. I'm not too worried about that right now. Get one of these. Nah. Maybe I should kill somebody else and buy another poison real quick. While I'm here. Again, I just really don't think... it seems weird to me that I can't do anything there, but I don't think I can. Just hope I wasn't missing something. If you know I was missing something, you know, chat, I'll just ask you if anyone knows. Like, should I be leaving this area or am I just missing something? You can tell me. Oh, all good fire. People don't know, it's fine. Oh. Ah, shit. I don't mind exploring if I have to. I'm sure, it's all good. Oh, for crying out loud, I thought I got more than that. He doesn't seem to mind the heat. I can't do an area before this factory. Probably should then. Right after I buy another poison. The way I really want down here, so we're gonna continue down this path for a moment. Hey, Team Kayla, how's it going? Thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate it. Hope you had a good stream. Not sure what you were playing. Oh wait, you're Clear Obscure, right? Hope you've been enjoying it. We're playing the Nine Souls. It's kind of like a 2D Sekiro Metroidvania thing with a cat. Yeah, we were talking about Musos in here for a moment. It's true. Get over here, you. I need to fight you. There we go. Oh, come on. Clear Obscure is amazing. I love it. You know, I know some people are like, I won all these awards. Well, yeah, it was really freaking good. So, what am I gonna do? Okay. Let's get another health upgrade. Then we can find somewhere else to be. Ouch, 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 ouch. You haven't touched it because you watched me beat it? Yeah, I get it. I get it. What? I kind of forget I did stream that game. Oh shit, our plant. Isn't your tree growing a little too quickly? Yes. Isn't it great? It's coming along really nicely. I have a bad feeling about this. Let's chop some of it down to use as firewood. I agree. Oh, you're back. We don't know how this genetically modified plant came to be. We should dispose of it as soon as possible. No, I worked so hard to get it to this size. Hey, JSMC2. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All you did was water it a couple times. Do you think this can grow all the way to the Heavenly Palace, ye? They say those living in the Heavenly Palace eat magic peaches that let you live forever. Don't believe those baseless fairy tales. And everyone I thought I was nuts when I told them the real world lay outside the village. Don't worry, Sean. When I find them magic peaches, I'll be sure to pick some for you to try. Just don't cause any trouble. The snake kept biting people at the entrance to the village. I've been craving a bite of it ever since. Unexpected, but it has a pretty good texture. Also not as gamey as I imagined. Wait, where's this stench? That's all you. This is a scavenger. It eats garbage and feces. You're going to stink for at least the next 3 days. Ew. Gross. More getting high tea for Mikey. Mikey tea. Mike Minotti. I should open up a tea shop. Tea house. Let's go. Bottoms up. It's been a while since I met my match. Theirs in the village can't keep up, and they won't even try. Bunch of cowards. Good drinking buddies aren't easy to come by. Though I did have a couple of buddies back in my hometown. Oh, how's the alcohol there? We should go try it out one day. If you were to go from here to my house, you could walk for a lifetime and never reach it. There goes a drunkard talking nonsense. There isn't a single place I can't walk to. Nice. Still got one more for now. What's this? Is it a bug or a plant? Before it died, this bug was parasitized, and its movements were controlled by a fungus. Oh. Interesting. Hard and kind of chewy. Phew. Was that everything? I chewed it pretty good, but my jaw feels out of control. Shenong, are you still lucid? I want to stop. Why won't my body listen to me? I guess this is what you could call uncontrollably delicious. Yeah, slimy yet satisfying is exactly right. Alright. We are powerful. I'm going to look at the map right when I leave here. I'm going to take a look. I don't really want to be told where to go yet. I'm going to look around. I mean, don't look there. I mean, there's this elevator's got all these. Oh, there's an exclamation mark here. That seems important. What was this? We should go look at that. Okay, let's go that way. Curious, yep. What? Okay, where's the down? Is it this? Oh, it's over there. Okay. Ah. Ow. I guess. Ow. This didn't go anywhere yet, right? Apparently it does. Not where we can go yet. Damn it. Oh, god damn. Ah, haha, right. Alright, this is good. Here, now we're cooking with gas. pretty good too. I think I care about gold more. Hey, Flan, it's going good. Having a good time. Fought a big boss earlier. Exploring a bit. What's all this over here? Oh boy. That's cool. Damn it, didn't see that. Now. Ah, rough pattern. Nice. All right. Good progs. Ow. Whoops. Oh, good. Oh. Oh, come on. Found the one little hole there. Up. Dump. Dump. Oh. Hey, Dewey. 25. Thank you for following. Appreciate hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you. Oh, what's this? Yeah. Since I need to be destroying all of these. that one? I don't know. Oh, got a poison. We can already get another health increase. Nice. See what's over there real quick on that other side. This all seems promising. Oh, nothing. If I go from above? Ah, yeah. There's a save up here. Hey, Chocolate Plantain, thank you for 21 months. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you have a great weekend. Man, we can go two ways. Now I'm inclined to check out the left side first. Kick it up. There we go. Alright. Good, good, good. Oh, hello. Noises. Ooh, that wasn't good. Hello? Shit. Gotta get good there. I can swing. Guess I should have gone back and got my health upgrade, huh? I forgot about that. Man, next time. Die. I said I can't die. Jesus, Mike. Oof. I got a lot for killing that guy. Guess he was supposed to be hard, at least. My lord, have you found anything at the research center? I've been encountering something resembling chunks of flesh. There may be creatures that snuck in from the agricultural zone, but there's no way the facilities were left unguarded. Never seen anything like this, but I don't think Gomange would be this demented. You checked the maintenance logs here? My apologies, but the highest clearance is required to access the research center. Everything there is completely classified. Fine, I'll just have to deal with whatever is happening after I take over. Of course. Please pay attention to your well-being. Feel free to return to the Four Seasons Pavilion when you're feeling too stressed. I don't have time for that. I'm hanging up. What's this? Ah, okay. Anything for our buddy? God damn it. Oh, come on. You know what? Ow. Jesus, Mike. Get good. Working on it. Oh, this is for the controller, this cord. Oh, right. Well, let's get my stuff. These, with our main computers, the USB-C cable's like on the top. Oh, wonder if that big guy's gonna be back. Really shouldn't have taken that much damage from that guy. Yes. Oh. Oh no. God, he keeps. Jeez. This place is kind of hard. Should I be here? It's gotta be kind of right. Damn it. No! I lost them all. Damn it. What's going on? Ugh. The first time I've lost souls, I think. Oh well. Why is this part so hard? Maybe I should be going right. Let's see what's right. Maybe it's easier. This seems really difficult. My God, come on. Jeez. Wait a second. These are permanent damage upgrades, aren't they? I should be using these. I'm an idiot. I'm a stupid dummy. Yes. I should not have been letting these sit in my inventory. No wonder I'm struggling. Although I don't know how to use them. Is Barster basically opossum carry else? Who's carry owls? How do I eat these things? Princess Bride. I've never seen Princess Bride, and I feel bad about it. How do I absorb them? Do I want to know? I mean, do I just take them back to my town? Like, can I do it yet? Am I just missing something? Good night, Bucket. Yeah, I know. I've always wanted to see the Princess Bride. I don't know how it just hasn't happened. Oh boy. Oh, so So I've already used them. Oh, okay. So I don't have to do anything else. Okay, so that did just increase my damage finding that one right now. I see. Good. Oh, come on. Okay. Now that just goes back to where I've been. All right. Remember when I was in middle school, I had some friends who thought it was very funny, and they were right to do that speech from that movie, but as the Pillsbury Doughboy. Like, my name is Pillsbury Doughboy. You've tikied my tummy. Prepare to die. We would just say that over and over again, and we would laugh. Oh, how we would laugh. Who's my favorite Disney character? Scrooge McDuck. I always forget about you somehow. I forgot to get my health maxed up again. That's okay. Problem is, he does that, then he just, like, retreats. Oh boy, I just realized how low my health was there. Alright, let's go get my health increase, then kill that guy again. I think I have more things for you.
Resort!
Came just in time, Yi. Could you stay still for a moment? Don't look over there. Don't move. Just like that. What are you doing? I want to do my own version of the Immortal's portrait. Can you put your right hand behind you? That's it. Looked over your painting over and again, and now I think I can make one too. Could you move your right foot forward a tiny bit? And what are you supposed to be doing here, Abacus? Why does they call him Abacus, but then his portrait name is Ruyi? Please, my lord, when Shanshan requested to draw you, I was worried for his lack of artistic training. We wouldn't want to have something poorly drawn. That's how I came to explain to him the method behind watercolor. Add dash here, fill this with color. And done. Portrait of Yi in the form of the immortal, it's all yours. Oh, it certainly makes an impact. Really? Do you like the colors? Abacus, what's your verdict? Is a style that sends out from the market. Aren't you a sweet talker? Maybe I can work towards becoming an artist. You're my inspiration for this work, so I won't charge you anything for it. You want to sell it? Artists need to eat too. It's okay, you can go and appraise it. I won't get mad. That's assuming I can find a buyer. I want to see. I do like it. Brought you a storybook. Oh. Yay, it's doesn't look like a storybook at all. This is what I used to read all the time. This volume left a particularly strong impression on me. The author describes teleological applications in such interesting ways. Whoa, all those words and hardly any pictures. Did you really read this whole thing? Didn't you do more interesting things when you were a kid? Did you ever play with your neighbors? What are you implying? I had lots of friends. I just liked reading more. What is it about? The diagram looks like a bunch of weird lines and circles. Teleology is the basis for all modern Solarian technology. We use it to issue instructions to machines and build all sorts of complicated systems. It's like a language we use to talk to machines. Amazing, isn't it? Yeah. You don't look that interested. It's not that I don't like it. It's okay, you don't have to force yourself. Teleological theory and application doesn't sound like something a child would like anyway. I'll give it a try. Good, you should skip the introduction, go straight to chapter 5 to learn the symbols. Once you have that done, go back and start from chapter 1. Gosh, so many words. Can I draw pictures for it? I got more poison for you, now get me high.
What?
Careful, this is a yin-long egg. The embryo is already formed. If you don't chew it thoroughly, it might bite your tongue off. Don't worry, my tongue's tougher than my teeth. Much interesting. Like a mix of eggs and meat. Ugh. It's also been sucking day in, day out in the chemical fertilizer area. If you eat it, you're theoretically... The meat is fragrant, the bones are crisp, and that aftertaste is... Oh, that's weird. My tongue's getting numb. Tea time. Don't try to hoodwink me. I'm not like the other idiots in the village. Whenever they see something they don't understand, they just think it's the work of gods or ghosts. They'll worship whatever and however the shaman tells them to. One day I'm gonna overthrow that shaman, leave stupid village, and live like a free man. And then... He's seeing what the outside world looks like. You're just moving from a bit smaller cage to a bigger one. Right. Good health increase. These are good upgrades. Let's see if we can die less now. Let's remember that this one guy's gonna fall from the ceiling this time. Probably should have put on a towel that's actually going to help me instead of just more money. This guy actually seems kind of weak to the charge attacks when I think about it. I think it stunned him last time. Maybe it's because of the back attack. Jeez. Good enough. Damn. Now these guys. So fast. Okay. This is the first I've been. What the hell's happening here? You can't quite... You need to keep him down. Don't think I can go through there. We're there. Nothing. Oh, guess we can. No? Not gonna interact with that at all. Just gonna leave this thing be. Huh? Okay. Alright, inside a canister, huh? Well, in a moment. This is like Half-Life 2. Well, this is safe. Hit me. Oh, doesn't like that. This is where I want to be anyways. Apparently I've been near here before. Look at that. I think I would like to go to this flower down there real quick. Oh, didn't really want to use that. Sorry. Please go back down. God, I remember this area. This is from a while ago. What? Yeah, oh, well, I don't know. I don't think that's safe. That's what Tim said. I feel like there's some context missing. Smart. Which version of Resident Evil 2 is Snowbike Mike playing, by the way? Okay. Remake. Nice. Oh, that hurts. Apparently. Wrong button. Claire route. Thanks, Pete. I think I started Leon first. I'm almost certain I did. Damn it. This way. Move. Oh my god. I didn't think I was gonna make that. Dark steel. Oh, I can strengthen arrows with this. Nice. That's good. Granted, it's not proggies, but it's good. What's that over there? Let's see. Can you talk about Rainforest Cafe all day? I can talk about Rainforest Cafe all day, but when you bring up Road, it's true, I am a stickler. Let's go buy this upgrade then for our arrows. May as well. not far off. Yeah, these arrows can be pretty powerful. Oh, jeez. It's almost more than I need, but I guess we're doing it. We're not going to be affording that $6,000 pipe node for a while, I think. I could get that. Actually, I can't. Should, though. I should be worrying about getting that soon. Get another arrow would be good. Status. Oh. Last node. Yeah, I still can't. I still can't go over here. Man. Okay. There were some other oh, no, those were dead ends. I couldn't open those. Where's this up? Did I go up? Could I go up? Is there a hack? I don't think so. I guess we could see, but I bet. Usually they let you see the hacks. Oh, there's one of these things. So I have to be able to move that somehow. Hey, look, there's one of the hacks. Silly me. Well, I probably could have done this a while ago then. I doubt this is going to be the critical path, but it's going to be something. Actually, oh, another one of these guys. Okay. Good. Yep, right. Dodge those. Jeez. Ow. Dodging that. Nice. We've kind of been around here. That. There's a person there too. Is this the fire? What is that place? Factory. This? What a night for Mikey's, indeed. Oh. Right, we've been here not too long ago. Couldn't do anything. Let's see, though. There's a flower, at least. Looks like one of those guys' symbols there, but... I think I was wearing, it was a PAX East, or PAX West shirt I got. Yeah, it's kind of Fraser-y. Got the Fraser Lig logo, because, you know, Seattle and all that. Okay. I can go there. This is the fireplace. These were dead ends. What's this? If I can go up here. That's where I started. Isn't this like the start of the game? Yeah. Yeah, so the 8-man village is right to the left of here. So I don't think I'm going back to the 8-man village. What's... Maybe... Seems like I gotta do stuff here, but I couldn't open it. Maybe there's gotta be a way. Let's go back. Finding goodies. Cupid Goodings. I can afford the other thing. Cool. Any early convention plans? I mean, we want to go to PAX East. We're trying to figure that out. It's kind of soon. I'm not going to GDC, but Jeff is. He's going to be on a panel talking about independent games media. I think he might visit Kind of Funny while he's there. He should. I had a great time when I visited them. Okay. There's gotta be something else to do here. Can't go up because these guys... Oh shit. That did some damage. Concerned I just don't have whatever I'm supposed to have to kill these guys. There's this too, and I can't do anything down there. Just can't believe I'm facing this many dead ends. There's all this now. I was here not too long ago. I couldn't do anything here. I think. Yeah. Gotta be something in either here. I gotta either go down there-ish. Then either that or I'm going over here-ish. It's really the only pass. Oh, hey, how's it going? My buddy. Jesus. Jeez. Yeah, PAX East is March again. It was May last year, randomly. That's why I wasn't there. Well, that timing worked out well for us, it turns out. Go up, if anything, which will be easier to do from the original spot. Has Mary played this one? I know she likes Hollow Knight a lot. Oh, I could have afforded the air upgrade. God, he always retreats after doing a thing. Oof. Jeez. Now for these assholes. Can I, like, just slash this away? It doesn't seem like it. My arrows or anything? No. That's a dead end. This is a dead end. Yeah. Guess I'm not supposed to. Guess I'm missing something. Explains why everything's so hard to fight here, too. Money. And Mount Rushmore VRG promotions, I mean, there's the B thing, right? That's the one I remember. Forgot about the Portal 2 potatoes. I'll be a kickflip guy or heel flip guy. Probably kickflip. I gotta go back this way. Yeah. I gotta go back on like the boat and everything. Let's see. Let's go. Let's see what's over there. If it's a dead end or not, then we'll probably start wrapping up. Oh, it didn't give me, like, it didn't charge up that arrow for me when I bought it? Thanks, game. That's oh, you can get some from the enemies, I see. See how strong it is now? Kind of looks suspicious to me. I was wrong. Yeah, look, I don't think I'm ever doing any kind of skateboarding trick, that's for sure. Ooh, got another 2. Hey, thank you for the stream shrink there, Nightjet. I want to play No One Lives Forever also, but they've never really remastered that game or made it easier to play now. It is apparently under some kind of interesting No Man's Land stuff. Like, I forget who technically has the rights for it. I think people don't know who has the rights for it. It's too bad. It's supposed to be amazing. Hey, Super Blast X, thank you for 7 months. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Hope you have a great weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There is a kind of a remaster of it somewhere. Okay. Who's this? Yeah. Anyway. Oh, we did this whole thing. You've never heard of it? I mean, it was still in an era when PC gaming was a smidge more niche, but it was very well regarded. Remember, like, GameSpy.com talking about it a lot. I think it's more early 2000s, but yeah. Hey, Audio 3, I get it now. Hope you're doing well, thank you. Appreciate it, hope you have a good weekend. Thanks for the follow. Like, these guys are fun to fight. This is 9 souls. Yeah, 9 souls. It's 2000, right around there. Yeah, then there was a sequel. Was there any console versions of it? I forget if the console version is just bad. I think they don't exist. I don't think it was ever on consoles. Yeah, that was Monolith, I believe. Alright. So, you need both of these. Did you get a key charge for doing these? It did come to PS2. Yeah, I bet it's not a good port. Should have rested. Sure, thanks for Blastech. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, at least you have an excuse to go visit Nashville sometime. Okay, what was down here? This thing. Right, so I was like, oh, this is where I already met her before. Yes, I don't want to go that way. I want to go more up. Again, it feels like I should be getting an air dash ability at some point here. Yeah, okay, it's nice. Trust me, it's nice knowing people in Orlando. So you have a reason to go there a lot. Okay, so, right. can't break this. Or reach that. Oh. Well, there it is. Maybe down here? Alright. There were these other doors. Maybe one of the other doors will get me through there. I don't know. Ow. Right, let's see. Ow, 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 ow. Well, I'm not dead. Is there one of the doors over here? Did I ever go through that door? Where's this one go? Yeah, look at this. Come on, Mike. Oh, we can make our arrows stronger again. I don't even know what 9 parchments is, to be honest. Ow. Ow. Sorry, those spikes are gonna hurt me. There's like one other two-way door system thing somewhere in here. I'm missing. Ow. Might be at the end of this hallway. Oh, that's the one I got. But there's one there. What's this down here? Did I look? Oh, right, it's her. That's okay. I think I need to be able to dash here. I think this is another dead end. So I can go up. Ugh. Got to that door before. Can't reach that. If I get an enemy to come over here, and I can't go down there. Well, well, well. Sure would like all this. Definitely gonna get a double jump or something at some point. I hope I can remember that's there. Is there any reason to go fall down here again? I don't think so. Boy. I am missing something in these areas. It's got to be over here then. It's got to be these It's gotta be these two places. Because this is the ape. These two things are leading to the ape-man village, which I don't think I'm supposed to go to. Can't, unless I'm missing something here. Hey. You were lost here too. At least it's not just me. I might look it up at some point. Wish there's more later, but you're probably 4, am I right? Hey. Don't put words in my mouth now. Don't put words in my mouth. I'll probably have to go to bed for now anyways. Can I afford the arrow upgrade? Actually, I think I can. That's interesting. I have the material for the arrow upgrade, but he won't do it for me yet. I think I did. Oh, right. I don't think there's that many notes. Let me see. Let me go back to that real quick. Now I need to see. Yeah, look, he's drawing things all over the place now. That's fun. There's me smoking. There's a Pokeball. Just leave. They better not let anything happen to that kid. I know there's been some dark stuff happening, but God, come on. Ow. Okay. I think this might be it. I'm not gonna be able to memorize these. What would I call these? Okay, disc thrower. House. Hat. X. Disc thrower. Although there's like an up and a down thing on the disc thrower. There's like a dot below the disc thrower. I don't know what that's about. Disc thrower. House. Hat. X. Disc thrower. Okay. Oh, I see. There are 2 different ones. So, disc thrower. House. X. Wait, that's not right. Goes disc thrower up. House hat X. How it has X. Hat. House X. It's gonna be like this. Alright, try Was that incorrect? Disc thrower, house, hat X. Okay, disc thrower, house, hat X. There we go. What do you think of that? Nothing? Alright. I bet I'm gonna get an air dash. Or nothing. Oh no, not just an item. That's pretty good to just get one of those, I guess. No proggies. Well, I'll take it though. It's pretty good. I just could definitely use some actual proggies. I mean, if I could just go up a little bit more. Again, like clearly I need a double jump or a dash. You used to watch all Blade Club. Yeah, Jeff and I still argue about that. I mean, look, it could be him. Boy, I thought it was me, but I don't know. I've been wrong before. This doesn't go anywhere. And why was this a dead end again? Oh, it's not. We've done it. It just doesn't really go anywhere useful. Yeah, this whole thing. It sounds like something I would come up with, right? Exactly. Like I never want to say that part to Jeff, but it sounds like something I'd come up with. I'm glad we're in agreement there. This is just an item. Good, finding lots of items. That's for sure. Like, that's good. I think it was so begrudgingly that Jeff came up with it. I think it might have been. Yeah, maybe he was imitating me mockingly. To mock a mockingbird. Okay. So we really need to go up there someday for all of that stuff. And obviously, like, I've had 2 paths take me here, which again is so confusing that they're all dead ends somehow. And so is this. I might set the look up where I'm supposed to go. I might look it up right now real quick. I'm not going to go there, but I just want to know. I'm doing it. See, I do. Look, it happens to me too, everybody. You think I beat Super Metroid the first time blind? No. No. Alright. What was that? Okay, so yeah, we killed this lady. I think this guy just like showing me where all these optional things are. Yeah, so I did that. Damn, careful not to see any spoilers. I can't remember. Oh boy. Yeah, he's talking about a lot of places I've been. Okay, we went to the factory now. Really? Okay. Here's what I think happened. I think somewhere around here, somewhere is a root node. I think here that will give me the air dash, and somehow I missed that. Now I want to see if I can get it real quick. I'm not stopping. But yeah, it seems like it's just somewhere around there is just a node where like a guy's gonna give me the air dash. Which again, like my instincts were like I must be getting an air dash, but yeah, I must have just missed a root node somewhere. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, that's alright. See, I mean that's the thing with the Metroidvanias. You get lost, you wander around, you get a bunch of stuff, right? I got like a bunch of arrow upgrades, health upgrades, maximum health upgrades, health nodes, right? So it's good. It's fine. Then eventually you do tap out, and that's okay too. Probably buy some more poison from this guy by the time I get to him as well. Yeah, I can. Let's just use this so it knows it's my last node. I think that's how it works. I would have liked to play more baby steps. I should have. So bright. Now that thing's up there when I want it done here. I hate the timing of this. Shit. Good enough. I was gonna say I think I can make it. Now I can't. Alright. Would like that someday. God, I can almost afford it. Let's just get this for now. Okay. Not that way. Can't make that. Where I fought the guy. Okay. I obviously can't jump over there, although the map piece is there. We do want to go there eventually. Nice. Can't do that. Got one of these guys. I think I told myself I can't make this jump, but I bet I could. Is this really all it was this entire time? Oh god, no. That was it. Usually, it is your own fault. Let's go. Okay, I should explore the rest of that. Well, again, I'm glad. We saw a lot of things. We learned a lot. What did we learn, Palmer? Alright, I think this is where we're gonna get our dash. You can see how much it's blowing. Yep. We got an OP arrow, that's for sure. God, it makes so much more sense why that one area's enemies are so strong. I'm excited to get an air dash. I love air dashes. Wow, yeah, there we go. Now that's the stuff. Oops, right. Oh, baby. Now we're cooking with gas. Oh, yeah. That's the ticket. Yes, it will. I mean, it's borrowing from Hollow Knight a bit. A lot is, I mean, Hollow Knight borrowed a lot, you know? Metroidvania games are always standing on shoulders of giants. It's fine. I mean, if there's anything that's quote-unquote, it's not even shameless, but like the Jades is exactly like the trinkets from Hollow Knight, which also, to be fair, Ori 2 literally took that system. The combat is very different from Hollow Knight. Very different. Honestly, the platforming, too. Alright, we got our thing. I think we can stop it here for now. Good stuff. We'll be playing some more of this weekend for sure. You have to check out the VOD channel, everybody. Hope you all have a good evening. I know I will. Yeah, thank you all for hanging out. Seems like everyone else... Some people rated me. I don't know if anyone else is still on. Well, not that Will Smith's on. Playing Sectori. Imagine that. Let's raid Will Smith. Thank you all, everybody. You all have a fantastic night. Say hi to Will. Okay, I'll see you soon. We got more Nine Souls play. Making good proggies here. I think we're going to be able to fight another big boss soon. I might be able to fight the next big boss pretty soon after that. I think we like poked around and cleared some other paths a smidge early, which is nice. All right, everyone. Good night. Bye-bye.